you'd help decide, clients to decide how to pick a footprint going forward.
Yeah, this is a significant part of what we help our clients do, and there does seem to be a disagreement in the data. So I've seen the same information that you're sharing about this trend lines of reduction in office space. At the same time, I think if you really dove into the data and segmented it by tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 cities, I think you would start to see some differentiation. Furthermore, I do think that there's a difference between size of companies. And lastly, what I'd say is that while it sounds like a convenient talking point, the square footage per employee from a planning perspective has gone up. So let's dial it back to 2019. 2019, you were essentially planning for 2 employee spaces. You were planning for their specific workspace, so their cubicle, their benching, their office, and then a conference facility that they would use to meet with their fellow on-site employees. You fast forward 6 years, and now you're at the minimum planning for 4 different kinds of spaces for that same employee. You're still planning for their individual workspace. In the US, there's still a 1-to-1 ratio of employee to workspace. It is culturally sticky. It is different outside of the US. The UK, for example, has more fully embraced hoteling as a concept. The US, New York in particular, has not. Again, there are exceptions to the rule, but as a general rule, that's the case. You're also still planning on conference space for on-site employees to meet. But now you're also planning for more of a phone booth environment for them to take Zoom calls in a way that's not distracting their fellow employees. And then you're also planning for soft seating or kind of living room type spaces for them to engage with. And sometimes that's picked up by amenities within the building, or other times that amenity segment, so rooftop space, terrace space, that could be its own 5th separate category. And you've seen this where we've slid from about 200 square feet per employee, and we're trending in some cases north of 300 square feet per employee as a result of that. Now, in cases where, sorry, Fran, in cases, I'll finish with this final thought. In cases where you're seeing some employees or employers shrink their square footage, that doesn't mean everything that I just shared relates to on-site employees. They are able to sometimes still achieve all of that and still reduce their square footage by redesignating certain employees as more remote, segmenting a portion of their employee workforce as hoteling, so it could be 20% as opposed to what it might have been 10% before, or assigning them to other lower cost regions like Nashville or even Austin in a way that helps them save money. And those cities are areas that engage with the real estate a little bit differently.